And here we are.
Hey.
Welcome to another edition of Are You Serious? This is our expanded edition. Those of you who watched the show before, you're used to seeing me and 4 other people. Now you're seeing me and 6 other people. Six other people.
Wow.
People.
Well,
it's so nice of you to call us people.
Improvisers. Okay. Maybe not people, but improvisers. So let's introduce ourselves. We've got Barry, Sir, Dash, and Ben on the red team, and we've got Daniel, Sara, Lauren on the blue team. Let's go through and say hello. Barry.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I was here last night, so not much has. I watched all of season 2 of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. I watched it before, but it was just as enjoyable for me.
Love that show.
I did final paper in my decisions class about Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh no, Dash.
Yeah, hey everybody. This is Dash here from Society Circus Players down in steamy Miami, and this is my first show back from my medium case of coronavirus. So I'm glad I'm here and able to do this with you guys.
Oh, fuck.
We also are glad.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, everybody's going. You don't want to catch a computer virus.
No. Hey, I got a Mac. I don't have to worry about that shit.
Oh, good, yeah.
Ben.
Hello, I'm Ben, and much like George Washington, I have never told a lie, so I'm not sure how good I'm going to be at this game. We'll find out.
Okay. You've never told a lie?
Never.
That's a lie. Lauren.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lauren. I was also here on yesterday's show, so not a whole lot has happened since then, except that I had a really interesting baking disaster earlier today. So that was interesting. I found a recipe for yellow squash bread, basically like zucchini bread, but with summer squash that we got in a farm share that we don't like or want to use. And I substituted that, and I found a recipe that looked really good, and then it came out basically glue.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. See, when I hear baking disaster, I think I was baking and a small plane fell into my house as I was doing. But I think glue is a disaster too. Sara.
Hi. Hey guys. What happened to me today? Oh, I had a really good croissant sandwich. It was like turkey, fresh salami, those little like cornichons. It was just like a very good buttery, like flaky croissant. I'm just still thinking about it. You know, this was 9 hours ago, and I miss it.
Wow, you had a croissant sandwich. Okay, Daniel.
Yeah, so I just want everybody to know I'm a level 4 halfling bard. I really like enchantment and transmutation. I'm main on the dulcimer, but I just got this magic loot, so I might just switch over. And key thing to know, I am a Sagittarius.
There it is. Good.
You're welcome.
Consistency is key.
So fate has aligned our teams for us tonight. Our red team has something in common with one another, and our blue team does. First of all, our red team has beards, and our red team is brand new to this game. Have never played on Are You Serious? They've done other stuff with us, but not Are You Serious? Our blue team seem to all be wearing glasses, and they are also veterans of this game. So we've lined up the 4-eyed vets against the hairy-faced newbies, and we're going to see how this works. So for those of you who haven't,
I hate this Pornhub channel.
For those of you who haven't seen this before, it's very simple. Each one of these fine individuals has shared with me and only me a bunch of factoids from their life, little anecdotes that are true about their lives. We're going to see one of them for each of our people tonight, although I might have substituted some bullshit that I made up instead. They don't know what they're going to see. And so their job is to make whatever I put up there about them sound like the truth. The other team has to guess whether they're telling the truth or lying. Let me get that all in there before my internet goes down. Okay. And I'm not lying. So why don't we get started, as I always do, with whoever's right next to me on the screen. So we're going to get started with Barry on the red team. And we're going to take a look at Barry's truth or lie. Are you ready, Barry? And you'll read this out to us, and then it's up to you.
Yes.
Here goes.
I once attended an Episcopalian school where I played Santa in the Christmas show.
Okay.
Yep. That is what I did. Yeah, I went to an Episcopalian school, even though I am a Jewish male, and I played Santa Claus, even though I am a Jewish male.
The Rosenblum didn't give it away to the admissions office.
It was at St. Mark's Episcopalian School, and I did this while in middle school. I attended that school from 3rd to 8th grade.
Wow. Any cross-examination? Let's start.
Did you wear the yarmulke under the Santa cap, or how did that? Did you bleach the payas white? How did that
go? I did have the Santa beard. They are uncomfortable. It's difficult to speak through a Santa beard. And wore the hat, the full suit and all. The boots weren't actual boots, though. They were like leathery-ish faux leather coverings.
Okay.
Yeah,
so what was your role as Santa in the play? Because in my mind, as a Jewish woman who has never gone to a Christmas pageant, to me, in my head, it's a nativity play. So I'm curious as to what Santa's role was in all this.
His role is to wield the chainsaw. An exciting moment. Yeah. That cross didn't make itself.
Right before the three kings show up.
It was a very figurehead-esque position. I'll say that there was a bit of improvisation in it, in that they really didn't give me lines and just said, "You're playing Santa."
Surely you can handle it. Everyone knows what Santa does.
Right. So he treated it like an improv piece. Like he stood there and went, knock, knock, knock. Oh, I think I hear somebody knocking at the chimney.
So did you just have like kids sitting on your lap telling you what they wanted for Christmas, and then you replying that you're not real?
It was very much that thing of the sitting on the lap part happened. It was the end of a bigger story where it's like, and now Santa's here. Like it's Christmas time, so here's a Jesus story, and now some Santa for you.
Wait.
Well, isn't it similar? Isn't Santa similar to Jesus in that they're Christian figures, but Jesus was Jewish and Santa was Jewish as well? Is that not?
You're asking the wrong guy, but most likely.
Barry, why? I'm curious.
What grade were you in? Oh, sorry, Daniel.
What grade? I'm pretty sure it was 8th grade, unless it had to have been 8th, because it was the last year I was at the school.
Yeah, why were you chosen? Is it because you had a full beard then?
Because he's Jewish. They're the chosen people, Daniel. Where are you?
All right. The reason that I was chosen is because I actually already had a Santa suit, because I wanted to be Santa for Halloween.
Did you enroll in this Episcopalian school in 3rd grade to play the long game so you could play Santa?
Well, I had the costume. So it was 8th grade, because I had the costume for Halloween because I wanted to be Santa for Halloween, because my thoughts were that I'd get more candy, which I did. So it worked out. And then you know what I learned, which I haven't used? Just dress for the role you want to play. Or off the costume already.
What is this one?
So where did the Santa suit live in the 2-month interim between Halloween and Christmas?
Oh man, I have to assume like I have like stuff that I wear for costumes now, but I have to assume like my mom's closet or something.
He had it hanging. He had it hanging on a pole. Guess which one? Okay, blue team. I'm going to need you to confer and to come up with a consensus whether or not he's telling the truth or telling a lie.
I see this happening. I've been forced into a Santa situation before, and there were just so many details. That's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. As a Jew who survived Lutheran preschool, I can.
What the hell is going on in this country?
The JCC was like not the best option. It was expensive, and I think it was more Jewish to go to the Lutheran preschool to save a few bucks.
It's like when the Australians years ago kidnapped all the Aboriginal kids and sent them away to Australian Europeans. It's like, were you kidnapped and said?
No, this wasn't colonialism. This was a bargain.
A bargain. Of course, there was a learning
I'm
experience.
inclined to say this is probably true.
Okay.
Lauren, what are your thoughts?
I think he's making it up. I have such a hard time believing the amazing coincidence that he just happened to have a Santa suit on, on reserve just in the event that he gets chosen for the Christmas pageant.
He did throw those details in himself, and threw in the other detail of wanting to do it for Halloween. That's a big lie to just throw out there. Unless this guy's a mastermind.
I must also confess that I own a Santa onesie. So it's
a Santa onesie. Santa has a onesie.
Maybe I have the only copy.
Okay. So, come up with a consensus.
I have a Santa robe, like one of those like Playboy robes, got black lining and everything. So
I have a Santana album. That's about it.
Do we want to? Oh, this is tough, man. I mean,
I'm gonna just for the hell. I'm going to make the people all the way on the left the captain. So Daniel, you're the captain. Barry, you're the captain of your team. Right. So you get to decide to be the one who filters it.
There's a hung jury.
I'm very torn, but it is 2-1. Lauren, if you're right and we're wrong, then
it wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, then we'll make it up to you. We'll figure it out. We'll make up the points.
Take all responsibility, and we'll blame you if you're wrong.
Okay, so you believe that it's true.
As usual.
You believe it's true, and it is true.
Good job, guys! Yay!
Yeah.
Yay! Jews pretending to be Christians Anonymous.
Barry did attend an Episcopalian middle school and did play Santa in the school Christmas pageant.
Wow. Good job, Barry.
Okay. So we will now
make that up.
What's that?
I feel like you can't make that up. Like that's not...
wait till you see the rest of the show.
Yeah.
You'd be astonished what you can make up. Okay, we're going to go down the hill now to Daniel. We'll start with Daniel on the blue team. So Daniel, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Here's Daniel. I hope I don't want to do the wrong one. Oh, here we go.
I once played a famous mascot for a day.
All right.
So I showed up to work, and a manager pulls me aside and says, "Come with me." We walk to a closet, and there's a big costume, and he says, "You're putting this on. You, for today, are Jeffrey of Toys R Us fame. Here you go." And I was Jeffrey for a day.
Wow. They really got you to stick your neck out for that one, huh?
I think I feel like the most obvious question is, where were you working at the time?
Circle K. I mean, why do you ask? I was working at Toys R Us.
Okay.
In South Miami. Dash, I don't know where you are. I don't know if it's still there.
Maybe.
Toys R Us is gone.
No. Yeah, the one
Yeah,
in
Toys R Us
77.
went under.
The
What?
one
US,
on
US
the one on
one.
US 167. Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I know that one very well.
Oh.
Your Pinecrest.
What part of the mascot did you see out of?
The neck. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
He-
look,
Dash knows.
Ash,
I'm sorry. I'm
show me
sorry.
your hand where on the neck.
It's right where his trachea would be. I know because I've stabbed a giraffe before, so you know.
So basically, you played an Adam's apple.
Did you have to have those little electronic things that you put over in order to talk?
Right.
You're like, "Hello, kids." Like what? Like
Well,
No,
It
he
was,
wasn't.
it was half a no smoking ad and half like come by our
He wasn't the
Jeffrey's
one
like,
with
I got lung cancer, kid.
he wasn't the one with the tracheotomy. It was the giraffe that had the hole in its trachea.
he's just like, I don't want to grow up.
Here's a question where I'll know if you're lying or not, because I've actually wrestled in a match with Joffrey the giraffe.
Who hasn't?
Right, I'll explain that after. So
Okay.
when you put on the giraffe costume, do you put the head on after the body, or do you put the body on after the legs?
I don't remember, but
Wow.
I don't
I
remember.
love it. I love
But
that.
I would guess it's the head after.
Okay.
How long did you work at Toys R Us?
I think I have one more question.
Just tap your hoof for each year that you work at Toys R Us.
What shape are Jeffrey's spots?
I have no idea. I think they're it's like a splatter. You know what I mean?
I feel
But
like
that's not to say
they're,
the costume. That's not to say the costume. What they didn't go cheap on it. You know what I mean?
don't they
Sarah,
look like
answer your question.
Yes.
I worked at
don't
Toys R
the-
Us seasonally
Okay.
twice.
Okay.
Once during the summer and once during the winter because those are high seasons for them. When I was just starting college, and my stepmom worked in staffing at that Toys R Us.
Mhm.
I don't know if she was doing a great job or not, and I know the GM of the store hated her, but I got in. I got right in, shooed right in.
Okay.
Got
It
the
was
job.
seasonal, but he never did actually work during giraffe hunting season.
Right.
That's why it was seasonal.
Poaching season was slow. What were your responsibilities as Jeffrey? Like, did you have to entertain children? Did they sit on your lap? Did you have a stack of toys that you gave to the children? Were you Santa?
did you get
So-
approved by furries?
Was
Furries
this an
were a thing-
Episcopalian Toys R Us? by the way?
Furries weren't mainstream yet. I'll tell you how I know later. So the responsibilities were to be in the doorway and greet people and pass out. They gave me some little comic book or something, and I was supposed to pass that out when I could. But how is that on the thing? But another responsibility is not to talk because Jeffrey does not speak. See, that's traditional.
That's
And
important.
then the unexpected responsibility of the job was to get punched in the nuts. I felt it. I got hit by some little jit, and he knew where to aim.
wow. I
At
believe
least it wasn't the trachea.
Isn't it true that Jeffrey's spots look like Mikhail Gorbachev's birthmark?
I'm not going to collude with that statement. So
All right. I thought that was a thing.
Oh my God. Red team, if you have no more questions, we could use
I'm good.
a conferring between you, and let's
Sure.
come up with a consensus.
What are you guys feeling?
Well, the giveaway for me was the how you put on the Jeffrey costume, because I know for a fact that it is the top half of the body that goes on entirely over the leg costumes, because Jeffrey can't bend or move in any sort of way, which made wrestling him very difficult. but from working at a college where we do have a mascot, I can tell you that occasionally, sometimes you just need a mascot, and the person who's supposed to go inside the mascot costume isn't there. So you grab whatever student fits and you put them in the costume. So that part sounds a little true. But if the fact that he didn't know which part of the costume goes on over the other part tells me that it's a lie.
This is such a tough game for me because I've never played before, so I don't know what Tom's made up questions or statements look like. I don't know how much detail.
Maybe you've just seen one.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how much detail people who have played the game put into their statements. I know Daniel's a good improviser, so he could easily have just made up all the stuff about his stepmom working and staffing there.
Of course, that's how you lie.
I don't know the ins and outs of the corporate world of Toys R Us. I just know about the toys they sell there. So it's very hard to say. But
yeah, this game
feel
isn't
like
so much about knowing; it's about feeling. It's feeling.
It's about feeling. Okay,
about feeling.
I'm gonna go with Dash. I feel like Dash has good instincts, and I'm gonna trust his instincts and say it's a lie.
Wow. So two people say it's a lie. How about you, Barry?
And I'll third it with a lie because Jeffrey, I don't believe that he was in a real Jeffrey costume. I don't believe any of this is true, but he definitely was not in a real Jeffrey costume. So if this is true, it was a bootleg costume. And also the comic.
Are you saying there's a black market for mascot costumes?
Hey, we got one.
He was a non-square Jeffrey.
But also the comic book. There's mailers and there's like coupons, but I don't believe there's a Toys R Us comic book.
I'm guessing that you're saying that it's a lie.
It's a lie. Yeah.
Okay, so your consensus is that it's a lie, and I can tell you that it is true.
What?
I remember the Jeffrey comic book actually when my friend worked at Toys R Us. He had to put on the costume and hand it out.
What?
Wow.
I didn't remember which went on first, but I can tell you about the head because that head thing was crazy.
Yeah.
There was like PCV piping in that shit. It was nuts.
Yeah.
That was a good truth.
All right. So we're now going to go back downhill again to the blue team. Sarah, are you ready? Are you ready, Sarah?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Is good enough for me. There it is.
In middle school, I would convince substitute teachers that I was British.
Mm.
I mean, basically, the Cliff Notes of the situation was there was substitute teachers who would come in periodically, like you do, and I got bored, and I had a friend who would enable me, and we would do it together sometimes, but you know, we'd have a sub who comes in who we didn't recognize, and we would just go for it. And we would just pretend to be like people who recently moved with their families. And we would just put on fake accents. And it was at the time, it was like I was kind of coming into my groove as like a burgeoning comedian. And I was like, this would be hilarious. And I was a good kid who didn't want to do anything too bad in terms of pranks, so this is just kind of what I thought would be funny.
So by pretending to be British, did you just like drink ale and beat the shit out of anyone who wasn't a Liverpool fan? Or
yeah, I brought like really bland food for lunch.
You showed up 6 hours late,
and I colonized all the other classrooms. But yeah, that was, and then, you know, like by the time like World War II happened, they like made me give all the classrooms back. It was a whole mess, but yeah.
Question.
What grade were you in while doing this?
I don't think I had the balls to do this in 6th grade, but definitely 7th and 8th I was doing this. Probably primarily 7th, like when it was like really awkward and I thought like maybe this would make me cool, like maybe the cool kids would think I was edgy and like daring, because I had a reputation of being like a teacher's pet and like being a real stick in the mud. So I thought, ooh, if I prank the sub, like maybe that would buy me some like social cred, but I wasn't like pranking the sub by doing like a good prank. I was being like a weirdo, so it didn't really work in terms of social capital.
This was a junior high. Then, would you go to a different class for a different classroom for every subject, or stay in one classroom for the majority of subjects?
Yeah, so we would switch based on subject, so it would only be for one period. It wasn't like the whole day. So like,
were you doing?
So she definitely knows how school works. Okay, good.
What kind of?
My Catholic school wasn't like that. We would stay in one classroom the whole day
with all the other Jews.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah, with all the other Jews in my Catholic school. Yeah.
Were you doing a Liverpool accent, Chav? What kind of accent were you doing?
So this was before I had any concept of like regional dialects. And okay, so I could only think, like, I didn't want to say I was from London because I didn't want to like say a place where I could get too many specific questions. Like, I didn't know what I was talking about. So I didn't want to say London. And then people would be like, oh, tell me about London. And I'd be making shit up. So I would name like the only small town I could think of, which was Canterbury, which is probably because of the story and because I had read on
I'm from Narnia.
I'm from Canterbury, which was in my head a small village. And I had like, I think I'd read like an actor I liked was from there. So I was like, perfect. That's the place that I was.
Where are you from? I'm from the Shire.
Wait, so you weren't lying.
Sorry. And I would just put on what I would now describe as a posh accent.
Oh.
Yeah.
Canterbury, you weren't lying. You were just framing a larger story. You know
a larger
what I mean?
narrative. Aren't we all from Canterbury? No, it would probably sound ridiculous now. It was just kind of like, oh, Mr. Graham, I'm so sorry. I don't understand what the prompt is. I was just like, I was spacing out. I'm so sorry. And then they would ask me where I was from. And then I'd like just come up with this like fake story about like, oh, my dad got transferred from work and now he's working in Miami. And now we would just come over here. And now I live here.
You could have said anything. You could have said anything. I'm from Glenstone, which is 3 kilometers from Foulwood Marsh, which is only...
Hey, we just moved here from Western Shire, Berry Hills, Shire Con.
I'm from a little village called Pot Pie. We have peas and...
I got a question.
Pot Pie on Thames.
Oh, how often would you do this, and how would the other kids in the class react to you and your friend doing this?
It probably would happen like once every couple. It would probably come up once every couple of months, and then I think my friends thought it was funny, and then the other kids I was trying to impress were like, "This bitch is weird. She's not. She's just odd." Like, I don't know. We're like 12 in 7th grade, and just nobody wanted to like admit when something was funny. So unless it was about basketball, nobody thought it was funny. This was like the mid 2000s. Like, I wasn't Paris Hilton. I was working with like a limited set of skills here.
Okay.
So was she, but at least she was maximizing them.
Yeah, I did what I knew.
Besides the voice, were there other Britishisms that you brought into this character that you were playing?
Rather.
Duh, I'm sure. I think I like kept saying like, oh, I read it was called Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging. It was this book, and it was like a teen drama comedy book from the perspective of this like British girl who's like an early teen. And so she like had all this slang in the book, in the glossary. So I would just use the slang, whether it was like actual British slang or just made up for the book. I don't know, but I'd be like, oh yeah, my knickers. Well, I don't know how much I talked about my knickers, but like I would say like tosser and oh bloody hell. I thought that was normal and fine.
Okay, I'm gonna need a consensus now from the other red team. Discuss.
My first instinct is that this is a real thing. I just believe this to be a bit Sarah would do as a middle schooler.
Yeah, it seems like something.
By the way, you're not the only person who read whatever the
Nice.
name of that book is that you just
Angus
read.
Frontal
Song.
snug.
Hi, Allie.
Is it Full Frontal Snug? Yep. I read it.
God, I want to say it's also true.
Okay.
We all agreed last time and we were wrong.
I know, yeah. You're the captain, man. All
This
you.
seems very Sarah. And like if this was the first week of the show, I'd say, nah, she's not gonna come out the gate with this story. But you've been on this show for how many weeks now?
By the way, it's not up to her. I'm the one who decides what stories are here.
I think it's true as well. You guys want to go with true?
Yeah, let's
Sure.
go for it. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay, you say it's true.
He's got a smirk.
Well, it is true.
Yeah!
There we go.
Yes, good job.
Back in the game.
Yeah. That
Can't
gets
figure out
things
the mirroring
going.
of this.
That gets things back to where they should be.
Okay.
Okay.
Since you guys
So-
are new, I'll let you know that if it sounds like something Tom would have done, it's likely something Tom did. And
I did do this. I did do this. My friend Steve and I did do that. We were at the Empire State Building once with a class, and we walked around convincing. Oh no, that wasn't Steve. It was this guy Jerry, Tom and Jerry. That's right. And we were convincing people that we thought we were convincing people that we were British.
I
We were
genuinely, if
nobody.
this had been like if this had been like teams of people who have done this before and thought would Tom have done this, I think that outcome would have been different because
Okay, we're gonna move up now to Sir Dash. Dash, are you ready?
yeah.
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. I was a bodyguard once for Doctor Who and for the cowboy from the Village People.
What part of the cowboy from the Village People did you look out of?
And so this was at a convention. It was at a SuperCon convention, and I was the bodyguard for Doctor Who and the cowboy from the Village People. I didn't get his name. Actually, they told me what his name was, but I was like, who? And they said, oh, it's the cowboy from the Village People. Oh, okay. So that's who I'm guarding. Okay.
Did you pretend to be British for the Doctor Who actor?
I did not, because he would have been able to tell. He would have been able to tell if I was faking an accent.
I'm surprised the cowboy from the Village People needed a bodyguard because supposedly he's a macho man. Bye, guys. I'm out of here.
Yeah, he's a very old macho man at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh,
So.
Who was in the Navy?
Who was in the Navy
Covered all those jokes.
and always exercising at the YMCA. But
Yes,
still.
of course he was. Yeah.
Which Doctor Who was it?
It was Peter Capaldi.
Oh,
Okay.
my second favorite
Peter
Doctor
Capaldi.
Who.
So-
Yeah, really?
What's that? Yes. he
Really?
was- yes, my second favorite. Chris Eccleston was my favorite.
So did each of the Village People have a bodyguard? So it was like the Village People and then their whole like team behind them?
No, it was just him. It was just
Between the
him by
bodyguard
himself.
and the cop.
It's the Village People and the Village security people. They go,
Right, yeah.
You know what they say? It takes a village.
Takes a village. Yeah.
The weird part was that I had to dress like a cowboy when I was guarding him. So that's-
I shall call him my bodyguard.
Oh, man. And you'd be surprised. You're like, why do these people need bodyguards? But no, you have to. People want to stay there and talk to them, and you have to just kind of, folks, please, okay, you go. You have to rush them along. Yeah.
And was Doctor Who like traveling with the Village People, or did you have to basically run back and forth? Because
Yeah, Peter Capaldi is the new
side and then
There are a lot of celebrities at these events, and that was just one of them that I had to guard. Oh, two of them that I had to guard.
Yeah. See, Doctor Who went back to the 80s and brought the Village People back to the 2000s
Back to
in his
2000.
TARDIS. Yes.
Every time the
or his
TARDIS store
retardis, as
opened,
they call it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. Every time the
every
TARDIS
time the
opened,
TARDIS store opened, a different village person would come out, and it was that like from YMCA, it was the bow, 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 bow. That's the sound that happened.
And the thing about the cowboy from the Village People is that a lot of people don't know this. He's bigger on the inside than he is on the outside.
I also did have to guard the Dalek at one point. They had a model of the Dalek, and I had to guard that too. Yeah.
I love this so much, but I'm gonna cut us off into our debating right now.
Sure.
You can still ask a couple of questions, but I'd like you to debate. Blue
Yeah.
team, come up with a consensus.
This is too specific, man.
Which
seems-
con was this?
What was that?
What con was this?
SuperCon.
Super.
Of course, this could be a super con. You could be lying. So
I mean, it just all fits. It just all aligns with what I know of Dash. That's why, in my opinion. What do you guys think? What do you guys think?
Sarah, Lauren, come on, you've got the glasses. You're the smart ones.
I'm
Yeah, you're the smart team.
Although I know the beards are also kind of smart.
I'm so confused about how they're two separate celebrities, and so unless they were all traveling together as like a pack, how you were able to guard them both?
Was that a question or?
Yeah, how were you able to guard them both?
It was at separate times. It wasn't at the same time.
Oh,
But the same event.
Same
Right.
event, different times. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So to
You have
double
to
up
guard
on Lauren's
different
question, were you hired by who? I mean, same people hired you, or separate people hired you, or?
So fun fact, a lot of the bodyguards for the celebrities at these conventions are also the professional wrestlers who wrestle at the convention. So that's how I got involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I need a consensus.
I think it's plausible.
True.
Yeah.
All right, I think we got a true. Guys.
You got it true. You
We
believe
got a true.
you believe that it's true. Well, I can honestly tell you, it is true.
Sure, yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, and it is fun to be at the YMCA. That's true. Too.
Let me stay there.
So it looks like that's what's happened.
Yeah. Damn it.
So we now go downhill
Still time.
from
Still
here
time, guys.
from here to there.
Best we can do is a tie.
To Lauren. Lauren, are you ready for your thing?
I am.
Okay. Here we go.
Once when my Apple Maps went wrong, I kept driving into the woods, convinced I was going the right way.
Just deep in there. A witch later, and that was it.
Where were you headed, Lauren?
Toys R Us.
Grandma's house?
YMCA.
MCA, of course. Yeah, this is back. This is back when I was living in California. I lived in San Francisco. I didn't really get out of the city too much because parking was so expensive and finding a parking space was so difficult. I pretty much just like left it in the space all the time, except for weekends when I would go out and see friends or do various things. And my best friend lives in Mill Valley, which is across the bridge in Marin County. And I wanted to see her. So this was, back in the early 2000s before we had like the in-dash GPSs, and I was too young and poor to have one, even if like there were cars that had them. So I basically
I have one in me now.
I mean, I have one now because it's like
They're shaped like.
later, but I had the Apple Maps on the phone, and I didn't even have a Garmin. Okay, this was like how much of a beater my car was. It was this old Honda Civic, and I didn't even have the thing with like the the suction cup thing to put on the window. So I'm like driving on one thing and holding my phone on the other and looking at this stuff. And I'm like trying to figure out how the hell to get past the bridge, to go through the tunnel to get into Mill Valley, because it's this like very windy mountainous road. in the hills. And so like there are supposed to be trees in Mill Valley. And so I'm driving around and I just keep seeing more and more trees and like a couple of cars that are parked on the end and like people getting around with like binoculars and like doing that stuff. And I'm figuring like, wow, Jen's place is, I guess, a lot more rural than I thought. And I just kept going for about 15 minutes before I realized I have no idea where the hell I am. And I clearly have not been paying attention to the directions on this thing.
What year was this?
About 2000.
1912. Only Garmin was around.
And what GPS service were you using?
It was on Apple. It was like whatever the Apple service was.
Okay.
I do
Lauren,
remember when
this is how
Apple
you get
Maps
murdered,
came out.
Lauren.
I remember when Apple Maps came out and people were, there was a
People were upset because it was
it was a pond right in the middle of where you.
Lauren, are you sure you weren't just holding a real apple in your hand?
I mean, given that I was living in San Francisco, that is definitely a possibility.
You're on a road, but it was just like a worm.
Pretty much, yeah. Well, I mean, if you do go through that tunnel from San Francisco into Marin County, there is this little like rainbow over the top of the tunnel, which they ended up later on naming after Robin Williams when he died. And so like it's
wow, it must rain there a whole fucking lot. If there's like always a rainbow over the tunnel, that is amazing. That is
it's painted over the tunnel, kind of like how the Roadrunner would paint like tunnel holes. That Wile E. Coyote would go boom.
Yeah, right.
Was the tunnel itself painted on, and you were just seeing other people drive through? And
see, if Wile E. Coyote had Garmin, he never would have kept running into those cliff faces.
Right. Apple kept leading him right into the painting.
This was before Apple changed its name from Acme, It's, wild times,
Yeah. Any more questions? Because I'm going to need a consensus from the red team.
I don't have any questions.
Good.
I need a consensus.
To me, this story is highly suspect because the iPhone didn't even come out until 2007, and Apple Maps didn't come out until iOS 7, which was like 7 years after that. So that makes me lean towards lie.
I'm leaning towards lie on that same fact. But also, it seems like a lot of it is based on reality, kind of twisted a little bit to make sense with the story. So I'm going to say lie also.
I'm going to agree with lie based on when Apple products were out. Yeah. And the fact that no one's lied in the entire show yet. So
that could be me doing that,
Gotta lie.
It does mess with people.
Okay. So you say it's a lie. Wow. There's no fooling you. It is a lie.
Yes.
When I was a rented Garmin, I did end up in the middle of a cow field trying to. That did happen.
Yeah. That happened to me in Iowa once. Yeah.
Lauren, in the end, did you make it to Mordor or what?
Yes, but a huge eagle had to grab her and fly her back out.
Well, we were at the time where I did get lost in the middle of the cow field. We were driving to the villages, so like it's pretty much as close to Mordor as you can get. So
yeah, Nazgul
were people
is not
in
that great.
No. Okay, so we've got one more to go, and as you've seen, Ben, you could tie it up for your team, or you could screw it up.
Pressure? All right. I'll probably screw it up, guys, but here we go.
Whichever you want to do, you can do. Are you ready, Ben? Here goes.
Yeah. Once I climbed way up a tree, and then my friend chainsawed the lower branches off so I couldn't climb down.
I don't care if it's fake. I want to picture Ben in a tree.
It's not that funny. You mean people. Not that.
Ben, I want you to describe the chainsaw.
Yeah, what model?
Describe the chainsaw. It was probably a Craftsman. I don't know models of chainsaws, but I'm sure Craftsman is a very popular brand. And my buddy Nick, who had access to the tool shed and did, the lawn mowing and stuff, would like to fuck with me. And that was one of the ways he did it when we were kids.
How many months ago was this?
I mean, if you count in like children years, I would say about 24. So I was mid-30s at the time.
Oh, shit.
Like a cordless chainsaw, or did he like come out there with like 30 feet of cord that he had to run over and plug it to the side of the house and be like, hold on, and then like, a few minutes later he shows up at the tree?
No, I think I would have been able to get down in time if he had a corded one that he had to like plug in and unwind. No, it was a cordless one that just, he could come out and.
So what brought you to the top of this tree?
I wasn't in the top. I mean, I wasn't like at the very top of the tree. I was just high enough up that it was hard to jump down. So.
No, I think why did that happen? Why did you scale a tree?
Did you guys never climb trees when you were kids?
I all the time. All the time.
Yeah. When you're a kid, you're like 10 years old, you see a tree that's cool and has branches that you can get up on, you want to climb up it.
I climbed one only a few years ago. Just to help my cat get down.
Roofs, Tom?
Yeah.
What?
We share 99% of our DNA with apes. So we have tree climbing in us.
Where was it? Like what city?
As well, hold on.
Well, say that again, Sarah.
What city was this? Like where was this regionally?
Pembroke Pines.
Okay.
In the suburbs of Pembroke Pines, where I grew up.
So were these pines?
I don't think it was a pine.
Were they Pembroke?
Yeah. They were, I don't know what kind of trees. I don't know what trees are. I don't know the different kinds of trees aside from pine trees. But
there are only 3 different kinds of trees, so this is not
a deciduous tree?
Was it what?
Was it a coniferous or a deciduous tree?
I don't know what either of those words mean.
From what I know about Century Village, you might have actually been climbing an old person.
Say it, Daniel. I'm sorry. What'd you say, Daniel?
No, from what I know of Pembroke Pines, you may have actually been climbing an old person.
I mean, it is in a neighborhood, Silver Lakes, that's near Century Village.
This comment specific to you.
What's that?
Yeah.
Was it an Episcopalian tree or?
Oh man!
Are you sure it wasn't actually a giraffe's neck and not the trunk of the tree? Same for the tracheostomy hole.
It could have been when the branches got sawed off. It revealed like the marks that were left looked like Mikhail Gorbachev's birthmarks.
Nice.
Wait, so how did you eventually get down from the tree? Theoretically, you should still be there.
They got a ladder out for me to climb down.
Who did?
Back into the tool shed and got a ladder so that I could. Yeah, my friend.
Okay.
It's
one of
those.
Did he bring the ladder? Like, how long did he leave you up there?
A few minutes, probably, of me shouting, "Get me down! Let me down!"
No, I'm going to combine this with a comment. So obviously, this was not a. This was not a palm tree.
Palm tree.
I'm going to need a consensus from the blue team, and this is it. This is going to determine everything.
Can I ask one more question?
Yes.
What did you do with the branches that were on the ground after they were sawed off?
You just put them out by the garbage, like the front yard where you roll your trash can up.
Made a cardigan.
Whittled them into what does Doctor Who have? What is the
sonic screwdriver?
Yeah. Whittled them into sonic screwdriver.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to whittle down your responses to 1. So.
Nice.
Thank you. All 3 of you.
Oh,
Nice. Hey, I'm leafing right now.
Oh
Um,
God.
God. I don't know. Can I like branch out into different like opinions
Uh,
from like
Okay.
half and half?
Yeah,
I'm going to
well-
go out on a limb here and say that
Don't make a sap out of us.
Yeah.
that the likelihood of the branches, if they were thick enough for him to climb up the first part, they had to have been fairly thick branches. So by the time the friend would have sawed through one of them, he would have already gotten down on one of the other branches. Like,
why does the
I
kid
don't know.
have a chainsaw and ladder? What's going on?
It's Florida.
MacGyver, what is going on? I
Like
don't
I said,
understand.
Okay, we're
Get
done with
access
the.
to the tool shed.
I'm banging the gavel now. We're done with the cross examination. I need you to come up with a consensus, the three of you.
Picturing Ben as an outdoor kid's a tough sell. I mean, in my mind, Ben came out of the womb watching comedy on YouTube. So I
This
mean,
is this
If he
is
was an
part of the
outdoor
reason why
kid, he
I
wouldn't have got
stopped being
stuck up a
outdoors.
tree.
Yeah, that's-
I honestly think this is true. I wish I had more times to poke holes in this, but I just kind of think it's true. Me personally, what do you guys think?
The captain
I'm
says it's
inclined
true.
to say it's a lie. It seems like too much work for one child with a chainsaw to accomplish in such a short window of time.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I'm leaning towards that Daniel's barking up the wrong tree.
Oh no! 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 No!
Refunds.
Lauren, what do you say?
Oh.
I kind of think. I mean, I climbed trees too when I was a kid, and the thickest branches are the ones on the bottom, where they get smaller as you get to the top of a tree. So it would take, I think, too much work to cut through like one big branch. In order, he would have been able to get down in time. So I'm gonna say it's a lie.
Daniel, you get to decide.
Also,
You're the
I
one
think-
who has to say. You can overrule, or you can, because you have a different opinion. But it's up to you.
We're going with lie. We're going with lie on this one.
Are you?
These are valid points, team.
Okay. You're going with lie. Well, I can. Okay, I guess I should tell you whether it's a lie or not. It turns out it is a lie.
Oh.
You got it. Absolutely right. And
Sarah pretty much nailed that I was not an outdoorsy kid.
so,
Tom, did that happen to you?
That not exactly. I mean, I did go up a tree. I've been up trees a lot, and I did go up a tree once and find it a lot easier to go up than to get back down again. Because
That is true.
although one time, what made me think of it was one time my cat at my house right here years ago, a cat who's no longer around. She's many years ago. She used to climb up the tree in the front of the house, and she'd sit up on the branch there, and then I'd call her, and she'd climb back down. And one time, the tree company had come and cut all the bottom branches and so she climbed up easily enough, and then she was sitting up there, and she realized that the usual staircase to come down wasn't there anymore.
No.
And so I started to climb up myself with a ladder, but I couldn't quite get there. So I figured she was very smart. So I took a flashlight and I would shine it on each branch that I thought would help her get down. And I'd shine it there and she'd go there. And I'd shine it there, she'd go there.
Aw.
And then she eventually got low enough that I could get her with the ladder. And
Awesome.
so yeah, which is my cat could do it. Ben couldn't. But, so the upshot of the story is this. Yes.
Hey.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's not true.
Aw.
That's
That's
a
a lie.
lie. Yeah. No, it's the blue team. The blue team. Oh yeah. What are you gonna do with your winnings, blue team?
Use
Oh,
them for
man.
social capital in middle school.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with all these exposure dollars.
Oh man, I'm gonna
cash them in for an
Yeah.
unpaid internship somewhere.
Wow. So I mean, you're improvisers. You could get an unpaid job anywhere. So
I just like lying, I think. So I'll be
Okay.
back.
He really does.
Okay.
Daniel's
And,
like a sociopath during this game.
Yeah.
and I hear the new Doctor Who. What's her name?
Jodie Whittaker.
Jodie Whittaker
Yeah,
needs bodyguards, so there's always that. So
any day.
thank
Any day.
you, Red Team, Barry, Dash, and Ben. You lost, but you lost honorably and right at the. You almost had it. You almost had it. It was that close. I was starting to
Yeah.
believe it. And thank you, Lauren, Sarah, Daniel, for coming back here again. In case you don't know, what was I going to say? Oh yes, we do this every week on Saturdays at 9:00, and tonight that's happening. Doghouse After Dark.
Ooh.
Many of some of the same people will be there. We're going to do weird stuff at midnight. So
Feel weird.
join us again. It's not that far away from now. Join us at midnight right here, and join us also for Read My Lips every Friday at 9 p.m. Last night was really fun. It was really funny. It was the funniest movie I've ever seen. And
What was it, like Attack of the Giant Brain or something like that?
something Evil Brain from Outer Space, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it couldn't have been better. So
great.
So I'll see you guys when I see you. And of course, midnight, if you happen to be up and around and it's like, hey, I'd like to join in with that, just come on in, join in. I'll send you the link. Good night, everybody. It was good to see you. And,
Bye.
and fun as fuck, as they say.
Bye.
Boop, boop.
Bye-bye.
See
Bye,
y'all.
guys.
Bye.